Well, good morning and welcome to day 4 of the 2025 Paddle Australia Canoe Sprint Championships. Another beautiful day, conditions absolutely perfect for what promises to be a very full and exciting program of racing. We'll be kicking it off this morning with the A and B final of the men's Open K1 1000, the B final, the first one to get underway. Just looking through the lineup for that race in lane 1 from Sydney Northern Beaches, it'll be Charles Heaton Armstrong. In lane 2 from South Australia, Max Humphreys. In 3 from Mercantile, Gabriel Cornwall. Lane 4 from Fairfield, Aidan Han. In lane 5 from Manly Warringah, Reyes Diaz. In 6 from Sydney Northern Beaches, Lucas Raycuna. In 7 from the Sunshine Coast, Alex Woodhouse. In lane 8 from Sydney Northern Beaches, Alexander Raycuna. And in lane 9 from Swan, Maynard Gray. Paddlers just getting themselves lined up and in position. So away and off to a clean start in the first race of day 3, day 4 I should say. It is the men's Open K100 B final. All competitors away cleanly. Lucas Raycuna and Reyes Diaz in particular, Aidan Han as well, Gabriel Cornwall there from lane 3. At Mercantile, Alex Woodhouse from the Sunshine Coast in 7. Diaz going into this B final with the quickest time, 3:59 in his semi-final. Han with a 4:01.34 and Raycuna with a 4:02.25. And not a lot separating them in the early stages. Alex Woodhouse up to towards the pointy end of this race, as is Lucas Raikkonen. Han as well, as they make their way down towards the 500 metre mark of this race. Plenty of quality on display, and plenty more to come in the next race, the A final of this men's K1 1000. This is the B final. Woodhouse certainly up amongst the front runners, as is Aidan Han from Fairfield. So pretty tight, as you can see, as they cross this line. And it looks like Woodhouse may just be in the lead at the moment. Aidan Han there, right alongside him. So tight racing over this 1,000 metre course here at the Sydney Regatta Centre. This is the B final of the men's Open K1 1000. Alex Woodhouse having a tremendous paddle as he makes his way down this course. Diaz as well. Then just outside him, Aidan Han, Cornwall, Heaton Armstrong with a little bit of work still to do. But as they approach the 200 metre mark of this race, and what a race it is shaping up to be, Diaz may just have his nose in front. And a strong finish coming here from Woodhouse. So that's how they do cross the line. At the moment it is Diaz just in the lead. He's about a quarter of a boat length in front of Woodhouse. So nothing separating these two paddlers. Han, Raikkonen trying to stay with them. But it looks like it's Woodhouse also across. It's Humphreys across in lane 2, having a tremendous paddle. Diaz though, trying to hang on. Big finish coming. Woodhouse storming home. Raikkonen there as well. So not much separating them. Big finish coming here from Humphreys and also from Woodhouse. 4 in a row as they approach the finish line. Big finish coming from Woodhouse. Woodhouse may have just got it. Nothing separating Han and also Humphreys and Diaz as well. But unofficially, it may have been Alex Woodhouse with a storming finish. May just have got there. Certainly tight racing to kick off the day, the men's Open K1 1000. And provisionally it may have been Alex Woodhouse taking out the win in the men's Open K1 1000 B final for the men. So the A final underway, all the way clean. What a field it is in lane 1 from Manly Warringah, Michael Dunbar. In 2 from Bayswater, Mitch Tamblin. In 3 from New South Wales, Jake Morris. In 4 from Queensland, Jackson Collins. In 5 from Queensland, Tom Green. In 6 from Onkaparinka, Maguire Reid. In 7 from West Lakes, Aidan Carberry. In 8 from Illawarra, Kynan Burke. And in lane 9 from the Sunshine Coast, the man in black, Samuel Henson Thompson. Quality field littered with Olympic medalists. And this will be fast. Tom Green had the quickest time with a 3:48.88. That got him straight through, but then Morris just pipped him by 0.42 to take out the semi-final. So it'll be a race between those two for line honours. The field's starting to spread out a lot more than it did in that B final. It looks like Tom Green and Collins setting an early pace. Maguire Reid there as well. Real high quality field. Sam Henson Thompson having an early throw at this title, but it is Tom Green by about a boat length at the moment ahead of Maguire Reid and also Jackson Collins. Reid it is with about a half boat length over Collins. Tom Green in the lead by about a boat length as they pass through that 500 metre mark. And Tom Green just showing all his class at the moment, but he's being shadowed by Maguire Reid and Jackson Collins either side of him. Jake Morris also still in the mix, as is Aidan Carberry in lane 7. But at the front of that V is the Olympic gold medalist Tom Green as they make their way down, approaching that 200 metre mark. So it looks like it's Tom Green. Maguire Reid may have got himself more comfortably into second. He's now challenging Tom Green. Jake Morris now starting to crawl up alongside Jackson Collins as well. So plenty of racing for these minor medals. But as they hit the 200, it is Tom Green in the lead. Maguire Reid just sitting off his shoulder, chasing hard. Jake Morris trying to get himself up into third place. Aidan Carberry as well. They're fighting for it. But Tom Green hanging on, still with about a boat length to go. Maguire Reid chasing hard. So Tom Green pushing for this Australian title in lane 5. So as they do approach the finish line, Maguire Reid still accelerating, but Tom Green will have done enough. So Green will take it. Maguire Reid will be second. The fight for third is between Collins, Morris and also Carberry. And it looks like Collins will just hang on just to beat Morris. Carberry crossing the line, followed by Tamblin from Bayswater, Kynan Burke and Sam Henson Thompson just finishing ahead of Michael Dunbar there. So great racing in the men's open K1 1000, taken out by Tom Green with Maguire Reid in second, Jackson Collins in third. And the next race underway is the final of the Open Women's K1 1000. Again, all off to a good start. Caitlin Webber away early, as was Stanley, Larry and Harlan. But in lane 1 from Wynnum Redlands, Jasmine Lane. In 2 from Currumbin Creek, Claudia Bailey. In 3 from Avoca, Natalie Drobot. In lane 4 from Sydney Northern Beaches, Kaylee Harlan. In 5 from Bayswater, Sammy Lowry. In 6 from Currumbin Creek, Jasmine Raywood. In 7 from Bayswater, Jen Stanley. Caitlin Webber from West Lakes is in lane 8. and Phoebe Woodhouse from the Sunshine Coast in lane 9. Kaylee Harlan was the standout in the heats. The fastest time of 4:11.87. The next best to her was Sammy Lowry from Bayswater with a 4:27.92. So expect Kaylee Harlan from lane 4 to set the early pace in this race. She has got away well. Natalia Drobot staying with her, as is Lowry. Caitlin Webber also in a strong position in the early stages of this race. Jasmine Raywood from Currumbin Creek up amongst it as well. So a fairly even race as they make their way down towards that 500 metre mark. So as they do cross, it looks like it could be Natalia Drobot there in the lead, just ahead of Kaylee Harlan. Lowry trying to stay with them. Raywood though just slightly ahead of her. Stanley well as they're in the mix, and Webber. But it looks like Natalia Drobot there in lane 3. Jasmine Lane just dropping off the pace as they make their way down towards this 200 metre marker point. The field really starting to even up as they approach the final part of this race. It certainly looks like Drobot and Raywood, Harlan and Lowry trying to stay with them. Webber as well from lane 8, having a strong finish to her race. But as they hit the 200 metre mark, it will be Natalia Drobot with about 3 boat lengths over Harlan. Lowry just dropping off the pace. Raywood staying in there as well. Webber chasing hard. The gold medal may be gone, but the minors still a good battle for those. So Natalia Drobot in the lead with less than 100 to go for her. The big chase now coming from Bailey. Also Harlan. Lowry now starting to accelerate in the final stages of this race. Raywood trying to hang on. Webber as well, pushing hard. The minor medals, that's where the race is going to be. Natalia Drobot, she'll take out the gold medal, but the silver medal, Harlan trying to hang on to it. Big finish coming from Lane. Big finish from Raywood as well. Harlan's going to take it. Raywood will pick up the bronze, and not a whole lot separating Bailey, Sammy Lowry, and also Caitlin Webber, but no doubt at all about the winner, Natalia Drobot from Avoca, with Kaylee Harlan picking up the silver medal. That was the Women's Open K1 1000 final. Great finish by some of those paddlers, all giving themselves a chance at a medal. But it was Drobot taking out the gold in the Women's Open K1 1000. So we are underway in Heat 1 of the men's 18 and under K2 1000. The first four will go through to the final, as will the fastest fifth time two heats. In this category, in lane 3, the Evoca composite of Blake Monahan and Lockie Bean. In 4, the Onkaparinka composite of Orland Rettig and Lockie Lyons. In 5, the Holdfast Bay composite team, Aidan Hall and Flynn Whelan. In 6, from City Northern Beaches, Lockie Dixon and Will Riddington. And in lane 7, from the Sunshine Coast, Billy McGuinn and Walter Nichols. That's how they line up for Heat 1 of the men's 18 and under K2 1000. First 4 through to the final. So only one to drop out. So the aim for these young paddlers will just to be in that top 4. Always nice for the bragging rights to cross the line first, but it's all about getting yourself into the final, trying to conserve some energy. Not too much separating Ascot, Holdfast Bay, Sydney Northern Beaches and Sunshine Coast. It looks like it is the team from Holdfast Bay that have got about a boat length ahead of their nearest competitors, which is the Ascot composite and also Sydney Northern Beaches Onkaparinka composite. Just starting to drop off. So a bit of work for them to do to make this final, but that is the Holdfast Bay composite team of Aidan Hall and Flynn Whelan. As individuals, they've raced very well over the past few days of this championships, and they're doing it well as a combination here in this men's 18 and under K2 1000. So they lead the V, the Holdfast Bay team, Aidan Hall and Flynn Whelan. The chase now starting to come from Lockie Dixon and Will Riddington. Also Monahan and Bean from the Ascot composite. Onkaparinka now starting to make a bit of a move, trying to get themselves into this top 4. Sunshine Coast team of Bill McGuinn and Walter Nichols in their sights. But it is the Holdfast Bay composite side. They've got a couple of boat lengths in the lead. It looks like Onkaparinka may have got themselves up into 4th spot. So the fight is on now for the Sunshine Coast. Can they find something? Can they lift to get themselves into this top 4 so they can jag themselves a spot in the final? Holdfast Bay just going through the motions as they approach the finish line. A big finish coming from the Ascot composite team. Sydney Northern Beaches as well. But it will be Holdfast Bay, they'll take line honours. Sydney Northern Beaches, not much separating Sydney Northern Beaches and Ascot composite. Onkaparinka getting themselves into 4th spot, and Sunshine Coast, the team of Bill McGuinn and Walter Nichols, unfortunately the ones to just missed out on that A final, but it is the fastest 5th time. That looked like a pretty quick heat. So still in with a chance to make that final. So away and racing in the men's 18 and under K2 1,000 metre race. And Yonka Parinka, in fact it's the Manny Warringah team of Jacob Mako and Archer Thornthwaite getting off to a flying start. This is the way they line up in lane 3. It is the Sunshine Coast composite of Ryder Veering and Hudson Ash in 4 from Manny Warringah. As I mentioned, a terrific start by them. They've already, looks like they've put a boat length on their competitors, the team of Jacob Mako and Archer Thornthwaite. In lane 5, the Mackay composite team of Tom Russell and Christian Ireland. In 6, the Bayswater composite of Finlay Caruana and Zen Salisbury. And then in lane 7 from Winnan Redlands, it is a composite side of Anderson Flick and Riley Holbroom. It is Flick and Holbroom paddling well, but no doubt about the start of Mako and Thornthwaite. Got off to an absolute flyer. Well, time will tell if they can hang on to the early lead that they had in this under 18 men's K2 1000. At this point in time, it looks like they are setting the early pace. The team from Manly Warringah, Mako and Thornthwaite, coached by Scott Dunbar. They're in lane 4. And they are a boat length ahead of Winnan Redlands. Looking strong, trying to close that gap. The Bayswater composite of Finlay, Caruana and Salisbury currently sitting in 3rd place. Then the Mackay composite of Russell and Ireland. They're your top four through to the final. The 5th fastest will qualify as well. So plenty to paddle for no matter where you are in this race. So it is the Manny Warringah pairing in the lead at the moment, being pushed hard though by Winnan Redlands and also the Bayswater composite team. Mackay composite trying to stay with them. Sunshine Coast needing a strong finish to gain that automatic qualification. But it is the Manly Warringah team of Jacob Mako and Archer Thornthwaite leading with 200 to go. They've got a 2 boat length lead over Winnan Redlands, Flick and Holbroom, that is. Caruana and Salisbury from the Bayswater composite comfortably in 3rd. And then the Mackay composite, they'll get that automatic qualification into the final of this men's 18 and under K2 1000. This is the 2nd heat. So no doubt about the winner, the Manny Warringah team of Jacob Mako and Archer Thornthwaite by 2 boat lengths over Winnan Redlands composite of Flick and Holbroom. Then the Bayswater composite of Caruana and Salisbury into 3rd. The Mackay composite, Russell and Ireland, they'll pick up the automatic entry into the final, and then it will all come down to the time of the Sunshine Coast composite team of Veering and Hudson Ash, whether that time was quick enough to get themselves a spot in that final. That was the 2nd heat of the men's 18 and under K2 1000. So an Australian title up for grabs with the women's 18 and under K1 1000 final underway here in perfect conditions at the Sydney Regatta Centre. This is the 2025 Paddle Australia Sprint Canoe Championships. In lane 1 from Manly Warringah, Tess Lever. In 2 from Sydney Northern Beaches, Emily Dooney. In 3 from Manly Warringah, Albie McInnes. In 4 from Avoca, Emily Rose. In 5 from Currumbin Creek, Bianca Raywood. In 6 from Bayswater, Zoe Moore. Her teammate Adelaide Hilton in lane 7. Eden Sikora from Mackay in 8. And Anthea Tan from Fairfield in lane 9. That's how they line up for this women's 18 and under K1 1000. And not much separating the front runners at the moment. Looks like it could be Emily Rose with the nose just in front. Eden Sikora paddling strongly, as is Zoe Moore and Rayward. So these paddlers had a full championship. The fatigue starting to set in, and this 1000, no place for the faint-hearted as they make their way down through this course. So it could be Emily Rose. We think it is Emily Rose from Avoca with about a half a boat length lead over Bianca Raywood. Zoe Moore from Bayswater in 3rd place at the moment. Then we go to Albie McInnes from Manly in 4th. It looks like Adelaide Hilton from Bayswater back in 5th, just ahead of Eden Sikora. But Emily Rose from Avoca setting the early pace. But over this long race, plenty can happen still, plenty to go as well. She had a terrific start, but the competition starting to converge on Emily Rose. Bianca Raywood from Currumbin Creek starting to pull up alongside, as is Albie McInnes. Zoe Moore staying in the fight as well. So shaping up for a great finish here in the women's 18 and under K1 1000. Bianca Raywood now starting to make a move on Rose. Rose just hanging on. Raywood coming quickly, as is Moore. So Raywood starting to pull up alongside. It's going to be a race in 2. Nothing separating these two paddlers, Rose and Raywood, as they hit the 200. Zoe Moore digging deep, trying to grab one of those shiny medals. She's currently in 3rd place, but the battle for the gold between Raywood and Rose. Both these young paddlers giving it everything they've got. Zoe Moore from Bayswater chasing hard, but in the front it is Raywood from Currumbin Creek, Rose from Avoca, stroke for stroke, as these two paddlers make their way down. The Australian Championship title on the line, the women's 18 and under K1 1000. It's Raywood against Rose. Raywood in lane 5, Rose in lane 4. Nothing separating these two at the end of 1,000 metres. Raywood just might be starting to get a nose in front. Rose trying to hang on. Raywood accelerates. Raywood may just have got there. Great racing between those two paddlers. We think it was Raywood just getting there first, just ahead of Rose. Zoe Moore from Bayswater picking up the bronze. Albie McInnes there from Manly in 4th. Adelaide Hilton from Bayswater in 5th. And Tess Lever, Eden Sikora, Emily Dooney and Anthea Tan to round out the field. But great racing between Rose and Raywood. Rose got off to an absolute flyer, and Raywood timed her race to perfection to take out the women's 18 and under K1 1000 race. So away now in the men's 16 and under K2 1000. The first four through to the final. And a good start by Small and Marsden from Swan, but Riley Scott and Fonseca probably the team to beat. In lane 3, Sydney Northern Beaches composite of Brody Frew and Finlay McLennan. In 4 from Swan, Alexander Small and Alistair Marsden. In lane 5, the favourites, based on their form over the past few days here at Penrith, the Bayswater composite of Riley Scott and Orlando Fonseca. In 6 from Wynnum Redlands composite, Dale Raywood and Hayden Lano. And in lane 7 from Manly Warringah, Zach Moffat and Dingji Zhan. And as expected, the team of Riley Scott and Orlando Fonseca, two of the real rising stars of paddling in Australia, have got themselves out to a very early lead in this men's 16 and under K2 1000. This pair going to be pretty hard to beat. Brody Frew and Finlay McLennan taking it to them from lane 1. Small and Marsden as well from Swan, trying to stay with them. Plenty of racing still to go as they approach the 500 metre mark. But it is Scott and Fonseca. They'd have a 2 boat length lead over their rivals, and they are dead even as they do hit that halfway point. That is the Sydney Northern Beaches composite of Brody Frew and Finlay McLennan, and also Alexander Small and Alistair Marsden from Swan. They are neck and neck, as is the Wynnum Redlands composite of Dane Raywood and Hayden Lano, and the Manly Warringah team from Moffat and Zhang. So the first 4 to go directly through. It'll be the fastest 5th will join them. No doubt at all about who is in the lead. It is Scott and Fonseca. The young paddlers have had a lot of individual success, and they look very good when they do paddle together. You'll see them approach the 200 metre mark on the screen. It'll give you an indication of just how far ahead they are as they just come into shot. They've slowed their rating right down now. They're conserving the energy. They know what they can do together. All it is now is just making sure they do get in that top 4, which there is no doubt that they will do. Small and Marsden, they'll take their place in this final as well. At the moment they're just ahead of Frew and Finlay McLennan. So these lead teams just winding down, almost cooling down with 100 or so metres to go in this heat of the men's 16 and under K2 1000. The first 4 through. So Scott and Fonseca just rolling the arm over, as are Small and Marsden. They're guaranteed their spot in the final. Frew and McLennan as well. And the Manly Warringah team of Moffat and Zhang, they're still pushing hard. Raywood and Law as Scott and Fonseca cross the line just ahead of Small and Marsden. Frew and McLennan will take 3rd. And Raywood and Lano, the Wynnum Redlands composite team, they'll guarantee themselves a spot in the final. And Moffat and Zhang trying to post the quickest time they can post, with the second heat about to begin, and it will be the 5th fastest will join those other 4 teams in the final of the men's 16 and under K2 1000. And so the race is on to see who will join Sydney Northern Beaches, Swan, Bayswater Composite and Wynnum Redlands Composite in the final of the men's 16 and under K2 1000. This is Heat 2. In lane 3, the Sunshine Coast Composite of Noah Kelland and Connor Riches. In 4, the Canning River Composite of Finn Island and Bo Jacob. In 5, the Currumbin Creek Composite of Taj Purcell and Asa Poland. In 6, from Sydney Northern Beaches, Dean Parsons and Lockie Matthews. And in lane 7, the Cobram Baruga Composite of Ethan Yang and Callum Lincoln. It looks like the Currumbin Creek Composite have got themselves off to an absolute flyer, already putting a boat length between themselves and the rest of the field. That is Purcell and Poland getting away really well. Cobram Baruga Composite chasing them hard. Yang and Lincoln in the second place. By the looks of things, we will know more as we do cross this line. No doubt about it. So Purcell and Poland looking very strong, as are Kelland and Riches. Early stages of Heat 2 of the men's 16 and under K2 1000. So it's the Currumbin Creek Composite of Purcell and Poland in the lead as they approach the halfway point of this race. So it's the Currumbin Creek Composite in the lead at the moment. Sunshine Coast Composite in second place, and the Canning River Composite in third. But it is Purcell and Poland looking comfortable ahead of Kelland and Richards from the Sunshine Coast, Island and Jacob there from the Canning River Composite in third. Top 4 through. So once again, the battle will come down to between Parsons and Matthews from the Sydney Northern Beaches, and also Yang and Lincoln from the Cobram Baruga Yellow Composite team. In that yellow boat in lane 7, with the first 4 through and the 5th fastest to join them. So with 200 to go, and it is the Currumbin Creek Composite of Taj Purcell and Asa Poland. They've got about 4 boat lengths over the Sunshine Coast Composite, and they're half a boat length ahead of the Canning River Composite. Actually 1, 2, 3 in the closing stages of this men's 16 and under K2 1000 heat number 2. And the Sydney Northern Beaches crew of Parsons and Matthews desperately trying to rein in Yang and Lincoln from Cobram Baruga for that automatic qualification. But Purcell and Poland looking pretty comfortable. The Currumbin Creek Composite will take out heat number 2 of the men's 16 and under K2 1000. There'll be certainly ones to watch in the final of this event. The battle between themselves and the Bayswater Composite of Scott and Fonseca will be one to watch, as the Sunshine Coast Composite, Noah Kelland and Connor Riches wrap up second place. Finn Island and Bo Jacob from the Canning River Composite will be in third, and the Cobram Baruga Composite of Ethan Yang and Callum Lincoln, they're guaranteed a spot in the final, and then it will all come down to the time set there by Dean Parsons and Lockie Matthews, the Sydney Northern Beaches team. Will that be good enough? Will they get them a spot in the men's 16 and under K2 race? So we are away and racing in the women's 16 and under K1 1000, the B final. And Yuxing Yang getting away well. She's in lane 8. In lane 1, Emily Corrin from Cobram Baruga. In 2, Huan Chen from Fairfield. Camilla Barbie from Swan in 3. Chloe Harris from Manly Warringah in 4. Abby Osborne in lane 5. She's from Fairfield. Emma Jarvis from Bayswater is in 6. In lane 7 from Wynnum Redlands. Hannah Truscott in 8 from Fairfield. Yuxing Yang, and then in lane 9 from the Gold Coast, Taylor Smith-Miller. It is the B final of the women's 16 and under K1 1000. And a good start by Abby Osborne from Fairfield, also Emma Jarvis. Yang, as mentioned, getting away really nicely at the start. Taylor Smith-Miller as well, trying to stay with the lead group. So the early stage, it is Osborne, Jarvis, Yang and Taylor Smith-Miller. Still plenty of racing left in this one. The women's 16 and under K1 1000 B final. Osborne and Jarvis working well. So this is the B final of the women's 16 and under K1 1000. Emma Jarvis may just have a nose in front as we approach the halfway point of this race. It'll give us a good indication. So it looks like it is Jarvis just ahead of Osborne. Harrison Barbie right there in amongst the mix as well. Yang looks like she's just dropped off the pace. Smith-Miller working hard. Emma Corrin as well, and Chen over on the lanes 1 and 2. Staying with the leaders. So positions changing in this race. The longer it goes, that's where tactics start to come in. So it looks like Emma Jarvis and Chloe Harris, the front runners in this women's 16 and under K1 1000. Chan still fighting hard, as is Corrin and Barbie. Chloe Harris not going away either. Taylor Smith-Miller and Truscott still trying to hang in there. But with 200 to go, it looks like Jarvis just trying to hang in. The chase coming though from Barbie and Chan. Also Corrin. So Jarvis has got about a boat length lead. So Jarvis being chased by Harris. Chan and Corrin also in there fighting Barbie as well. This is going to be tight. Jarvis starting to hurt. She may be starting to drop off. The pace picking up on the outside lanes. Corrin working hard. Chan as well, and Barbie. Harris starting to steam home. Truscott as well with the second wind. Jarvis trying to hang on. It looks like Barbie may have just got a nose in front. Harris now chasing. Camilla Barbie from Swan accelerating towards the end. So Barbie's going to take it. Harris will pick up second. Chan finishing strongly, as did Truscott, just to pip Jarvis. She got away so well, just couldn't hang on. Then Corrin, Abby Osborne there, and then Smith-Miller and Yang But it was Camilla Barbie timing a race to perfection. Emma Jarvis leading almost the entire way, just couldn't hang on. But a well-timed race by Camilla Barbie to take out the B final of the women's 16 and under K1 1000. And so another Australian title on the line. This is the women's 16 and under K1 1000, the A final. Heidi Smith getting away well in lane 8. In lane 1, Maya Murphy from Fairfield. In lane 2 from Avoca, Ashley Pegram. In 3 from Mandy Warringah, Hayley Dunbar. In 4 from Avoca, Ella Pegram. In 5 from West Lakes, Asta Micken. In 6 from Avoca, Bronte Kippax. Liv Manser from Avoca is in 7. Heidi Smith from the Sunshine Coast in 8. And Ellie Neervort from Swan in lane 9. It looks like Hayley Dunbar has got off to a good start. This is a really strong field. Some of these paddlers have had some outstanding results over the previous few days. Kippax, Micken in particular, Manser as well, Neervort, Dunbar, Ashley Pegram, also Maya Murphy. Looks like Bronte Kippax has got herself off in a good position as well. Early stages of this women's 16 and under K1 1000, the A final. Maya Murphy and Pegram up with the leaders. Micken, Pegram, Kippax, none can be discounted in this women's 16 and under K1 1000. So as they approach the halfway mark of this race, looks like it's Kippax in the lead, just ahead of Micken. Pegram's there as well, and Dunbar. But it looks like it might be Bronte Kippax in the on the midway stages of this race. Hanging on to a slender lead. We know how much it can change. We saw it in the B final. But it looks like it is Bronte Kippax setting the early pace. Can she hang on? That's the question. Neervort and Smith paddling well. Kippax, though, it is in the lead. Micken trying to stay with her, as is Dunbar. Ashley Pegram as well, trying to hang on. So the field tightens up as they approach the 200. Kippax digging deep, trying to maintain this lead. She's led from start to finish. Can she hang on? Asta Micken starting to chase Dunbar, just narrowly into second, just ahead of Ashley Pegram. Neervort starting to finish strongly. Ashley Pegram also starting to accelerate towards the back end. Kippax trying to hang on. So Bronte Kippax from Avoca hanging on to the lead at the moment. Ashley Pegram finishing strongly, as is Dunbar and Ella Pegram. Nearvort as well, trying to find something in the tank at the end of this race. It's been a beauty. Kipax, can she hang on? The chase now coming from Pegram and Dunbar across in 2 and 3. Kipax from Avoca, she's got about a boat length. That'll probably be enough for her. So Bronnie Kipax will take it. The battle for the minors, though, it's tight between Dunbar and Pegram. The battle on, and it looks like Hayley Dunbar will just beat Ashley Pegram. Aston Micken crossing the line, as does Ella Pegram, Ellie Nearvort, Heidi Smith from the Sunshine Coast, and also Maya Murphy from Fairfield. But Bronte Kipax capping off a wonderful championships for her with a gold medal in the women's 16 and under K1 1000 A final. Great racing. Dunbar and Pegram pushing her the whole way, but it was Bronte Kipax taking out the gold medal of the women's 16 and under K1 1000 A final. So next up we have the race within a race. It is the men's over 45 K2 1000. The crew from Wynnum Redlands of Matthew Ingerman and David Bicknell. And racing alongside them, but in the men's over 55 K2 1000 from the Manuringa crew of Tim Newton and William Mako. So it's the over 45s up against the over 55s. The young fellas in lane 4, Ingerman and Bicknell, and the veterans in lane 5 of Newton and Mako. So racing against each other, but in different categories. It's the over 45s in lane 4, the over 55s in lane 2, the K2 1000, Wynnum Redlands in lane 4, and Manny Warringah in lane 5. So not much separating these two crews. With about 250 metres to go. And maybe the youngsters, the over 45s, Ingerman and Bicknell, just ahead of their older competitors, Newton and Mako from Manly Warringah. So with just 200 to go, it is the Wynnum Redlands team, the men's over 45s of Ingerman and Bicknell, with just a couple of boat lengths over the Manly Warringah crew of Newton and Mako. It's the over 45s in lane 4, the over 55s in lane 5. Direct finals for both of these. And in this case, it will be a victory for youth over experience, both looking good, both taking out their categories. But for line honours, they will go to Ingerman and Bicknell from Wynnum Redlands. And when we were looking at the 5th fastest qualifier for the men's 16 and under K2 1000, it was incredibly tight. The team from Sydney Northern Beaches of Matthews and Parsons did a 4:34.79. Moffat and Zhang from Manly did a 4:34.38. So Moffat and Zhang sneaking in by basically 0.4 of a second. So very tight racing for the 5th fastest qualifier, and it will go to Moffat and Zhang 4:34.38, just pipping Parsons and Matthews 4:34.79. So the next race underway is again a composite race. In lane 4, 5 and 6 are the women's 14 and under K2 1000, and in lanes 8 and 9 the men's K2 1012 and under. So in lane 4, as part of the women's 14 and under K2 1000, the direct final, it is the Fairfield composite team of Isabel Ireland and Serena Lee. In lane 5 from Fairfield, Catherine Shen and Evla Basak. And in lane 6, the Goldfields composite team of Audrey Mackay and Daphne Bradley. In lane 8, as part of the men's K2 12 and under, Leo Manser and Kai Sinclair from Avoca in lane 8, and in lane 9 from Cobran Baruga, the composite team of Nixon Wallace and Jack Cohen. And again, these names very familiar, doing a lot of racing over the last couple of days. And it is Manser and Sinclair starting to pull away in the men's K2 12 and under. And in the women's 14 and under, the Fairfield composite of Isabel Ireland and Serena Lee very tight with the Fairfield team of Shen and Basak. So as they pass through, it looks like the Fairfield composite of Isabel Island and Serena Lee just ahead of Fairfield, Shen and Bassack. The Goldfields composite of Mackay and Bradley still amongst the medals, but a bit of work to do to get up the pointy end of this race. And in the men's K2 1012 and under, Manser and Sinclair from Avoca really showing their dominance over Wallace and Corrin, who are fighting hard. But it looks like all the interest will be in this women's 14 and under K2 1000 between the Fairfield composite crew of Isabel Island and Serena Lee, battling hard with Shen and Bassack from Fairfield. The composite team at the moment just in the lead. We'll wait and see what sort of a finish Catherine Shen and Evelyn Bassack can pull out. They may have left their run a little bit late. The composite side of Island and Lee with a 2-boat length lead with 200 to go. Shannon Bassack now trying to lift, trying to pull the lead back to short that gap between Island and Lee. Can they do it? Shen and Bassack pushing hard. Island and Lee trying to hang on. 100 to go in the women's 14 and under K2 1000, the direct final. The Fairfield composite of Island and Serena Lee. They look like they'll be too strong despite the gallant efforts of Catherine Shen and Evelyn Bassack from Fairfield. So Isabel Island and Serena Lee 20 metres away from victory. And that's what they will get as they cross the line, the winners of the women's 14 and under K2 1000. The Fairfield composite of Isabel Island and Serena Lee, the Fairfield team of Catherine Shen and Evelyn Bassack picking up the silver medal. And in the men's K2 1000 12 and under, the Avoca team of Leo Manser and Kai Sinclair. Comfortable victors in their category. The Goldfields composite of Audrey Mackay and Daphne Bradley, part of that women's 14 and under K2 1000. They'll pick up the bronze medal. And the Cobram Baruga composite team of Nixon Wallace and Jack Corrin finishing strongly as part of this men's K2 12 and under. They'll pick up the silver medal. So great racing by these young competitors here at the Paddle Australia Canoe Sprint Championships for 2025. Manser and Sinclair the gold in the 12 and under men's K2 1000, and Island and Lee the gold in the women's 14 and under K2 1000. So they were held for a long time, like a plane on a tarmac waiting for clearance from air traffic control. And when they were finally allowed to go, there was a little bit of a break, so they'll head back to line up again. Looked like half the field got away, the other half didn't, so they'll back themselves back into place. This is the men's 14 and under K1 1000 final. Just waiting for the start. They got away, but it wasn't clean, so they will back themselves back up. The air traffic controllers will check the skies and we'll wait for takeoff. So they're all clear for takeoff, and that's exactly what they do. Alexander Lyons getting away well from Onkaparinko, Marsden as well, and Lee. The way they line up in lane 1, Jason Ness from Westlakes, Hugo Dooney from Manly Warringah in 2, in 3 from Currumbin Creek, Joel Merritts, Caden Lee from Mackay in 4, in lane 5 from Swan, Hugo Marsden, Alexander Lyons from Onkaparinko is in 6, Cameron Briggs from Manly Warringah in 7, Coa Brody from Currumbin Creek in 8, and Taj Caldwell from Illawarra, he is in lane 9. And it looks like in the early stages, Jason Ness may have got himself into a little bit of trouble there. But it could be Caden Lee that's got himself out to an early start. We'll try and pick it up as we get to a marker to see who is in the lead. So it looked like it was Hugo Dooney. He got himself in a little bit of trouble across there in lane 2. And I think it might be Hugo Marsden who is out to a big lead in the early stages of this race. So Hugo Marsden really stamping his authority in the early stages. Caden Lee trying to stay with him. So it looks like Hugo Marsden from Swan. He's got about 5 or 6 boat lengths on Caden Lee, and he's about a half a boat length ahead of Joel Merritts at the halfway point of this race. Alexander Lyons is right there as well, giving himself a chance for a minor medal. At this stage, Hugo Marsden, though, clearing away in this men's 14 and under K1 1000 field. The chase is on. Who can catch him? Who can still pick up a medal? Silvers and bronzes up for grabs. Marsden with one hand on that gold in the closing stages of this men's 14 and under K1 1000. It's been a dominant performance by Hugo Marsden from the Swan Club. Has he gone out too hard too early? That's what this final 200 metres will tell us. Or has he given himself enough of a buffer? The pack starting to close on him. So Marsden in the lead. Lee chasing, as is Merritts. Alexander Lyons as well, right in amongst it. Marsden has a bit of a look around. You can see he's got plenty of clear water either side of him. So the battle will be for the minors. So Marsden in the lead. Caden Lee from Mackay in second place. Moritz there in third, but Lyons there as well, making his move. So the battle for the minor medals, that's where the interest will be. No problem at all. Marsden looking around again. He likes the buffer that he's got. Lyons from Onka Parinka finishing strongly. Moritz digging deep as well. Caden Lee trying to hang on. 3 paddlers, 2 medals. As Hugo Marsden crosses the line, he'll take the gold, no problem at all in the men's 14 and under K100. Caden Lee, can he hang on for the silver? Big finish coming from Lyons. Can Moritz hang on? Caden Lee's going to take the silver. Strong finish coming from Lyons. Will he get there? No, he won't. So Joel Moritz will just hang on for silver. But a great race by Hugo Marsden to take out the gold medal. Caden Lee picking up the silver. Joel Moritz the bronze. And Alexander Lyons, despite his strong finish, just missing out on the medals. Cameron Briggs from Manly Warringah crossing just ahead of Koa Brody there from Currumbin Creek. And Hugo Dooney. I think we lost him earlier in that race. Jason Ness there from West Lakes. And Taj Caldwell completing the field. But an outstanding victory to Hugo Marsden from the Swan Club, taking out the men's 14 and under K1 1000 final as Taj Caldwell completes his race here at the 2025 Paddle Australia Canoe Sprint Championships. So well done to all those young men. The future of the sport on display. And so we are away in a 3-race in one event. In lane 4, it is the women's over 45 K1 1000. Laura Lee from Burley Griffin is off to an absolute flyer. She has already streeted the field. Next to her in lane 5 and 6 is the women's over 55 K1 1000. In lane 5, Turia Mako from Manly Warringah and Lulu Harris, she is in 6. And then in lane 7, the women's over 65 K1 1000. Janine De Tomaso is paddling for the Manly Warringah Club. So in lane 4 is the over 45. In lanes 5 and 6, the over 55. And in lane 7, the over 65. They're the 3 races in one. And Laura Lee from the over 45 category has pulled right ahead. It's a case of catch me if you can for Laura Lee. And I don't think they will be able to. She's miles ahead already. Each racing against the clock. So Laura Lee is part of that over 45. Turia Mako and Lulu Harris, they're battling each other out for the gold and the silver in the over 55s in those middle lanes. And then Janine Di Tomaso, great effort the women's over 65 K1 1000 direct final for her as well. Once again, beautiful conditions out here at the Sydney Regatta Centre. Plenty of racing still to come. We'll take a short break at the conclusion of this event and then be back at 10 o'clock with the men's Open K2 1000, a direct final. Then we'll see some of the best of the youngsters battling it out in the K2. The men's K1 under 16 final for the 1000. Then some of the veterans races. So plenty of great racing. But in this particular event, Laura Lee from Burley Griffin has the course to herself. She's that far in front. Racing as part of the women's over 45 K1 1000 from Burley Griffin. A real battle on our hands in the women's over 55 between Turia Mako and Lulu Harris. Harris in 6, Mako in 5. Not much separating there. Mako just with a nose in front. The lady in the front though is Laura Lee from Burley Griffin. It's part of that women's over 45 K1 1000. She's just got 200 to go in her race. Looks like she wouldn't be out of place in the open category. Absolutely flying here at Penrith. So with just 50 metres to go, the women's over 45 K1 1000. Laura Lee from Burley Griffin setting an electric pace. We'd love to see what the time was. Got away really quickly, held the pace right through. She'd be pretty happy with that race. And the battle for the gold and silver in the women's over 55 K1 1000. Turia Mako from Manly just ahead of her teammate Lulu Harris. Strong finish from Janine Di Tommaso as well. She's in the over 65, but the yellow boat of Turia Mako just hanging on. She's got a boat length lead over her teammate Lulu Harris. So some great racing by these ladies. Harris finishing strongly, trying to pull back that lead of Mako. But Mako will hang on to take the gold. Harris will take the silver in the women's over 55 K1 1000. And then Janine Di Tommaso looking very strong and very comfortable in that women's over 65 K1 1000. So some great racing by the ladies to conclude session 1. We will be back at 10 o'clock with the men's Open K2 1000, a direct final. So more medals on the line at the 2025 Paddle Australia Canoe Sprint Championships, coming to you from the Sydney Regatta Centre. So the medal presentations which will be taking place this morning, if you are a recipient from the Men's Open K1 1000, the Women's 18 and Under C2 200, the Women's Open C2 200, the Men's 14 and Under K1 1000, and the Women's Open K1 1000. If you are a medal recipient, if you could please make your way down to the medal presentation area, as we'd like to get the medal presentations underway for those events. That's the Women's Open K1 1000, the Men's 14 and Under K1 1000, the Women's 18 and Under C2 200, the Women's Open C2 200, and the Men's Open K1 1000. So once again, if you're a medal winner from the Men's Open K1 1000, the Women's Open C2 200, the Women's 18 and Under C2 200, the Men's 14 and Under K1 1000, and the Women's Open K1 1000, if you could please make your way down to the medal presentation area, as we'd like to get those medal presentations underway. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first of the awards ceremony for the 2025 Paddle Australia Canoe Sprint Championships. It is the men's 14 and under K1 1000. The awards or the medals will be presented by Mark Bullner, for the International Technical Official and also a member of the Australian Sprint Committee. So the first awards to be presented this morning as part of the 2025 Paddle Australia Canoe Sprint Championships. It is the men's 14 and under K1 1000 event, and the medals to be presented by Mark Bullner, who is an international technical official and a member of the Australian Sprint Committee. So in third place, taking the bronze medal from the Currumbin Creek Paddlers Club, Joel Moritz. In second place, from Mackay Paddlers Society, Caden Lee. And in first place, the champion in the men's 14 and under K1 1000 from Swan Canoe Club, Hugo Marston. So congratulations to all competitors and to the medal winners of the men's 14 and under K1 1000. And thank you to Mark Bullner for presenting those medallions this morning. So welcome back to the 2025 Paddle Australia Canoe Sprint Championships. The next event on the program, the Men's Open K2 1000, a direct final. Full start for it, a small field of 2. So this time away cleanly in the final of the Men's Open K2 1000. There's 2 teams in it, Jackson Collins and Alex Woodhouse from Sunshine Coast Composite in lane 6, Aidan Carberry and Max Humphries from the South Australian Paddle Australia Composite team. Fell and Gray from the Swan Composite were scheduled to compete, but have obviously been a late scratching. It looks like the Sunshine Coast Composite pairing of Collins and Woodhouse pulling away to an early lead over Carberry and Humphries from the South Australian Composite team. It's the Men's Open K2 1000, a direct final, just 2 competitors in it. Sunshine Coast Composite up against the Paddle Australia direct South Australian Composite team. And it looks like Collins and Woodhouse taking an early lead in this race. Following this will be the men's 18 and under K1 1000, the B final, with the A final directly after that. And then we'll head straight into the women's 18 and under K2 1000, a direct final for those women's under 18 K2 1000 final. But underway at the moment, it is Collins and Woodhouse in the lead in the men's open K2 1000 as they cross through the halfway point of this race. Once again, perfect conditions. No breeze to speak of. Expected top of 37 degrees, that cloud cover burning off this morning. So we'll continue to heat up for these races. And it's Jackson Collins and Alex Woodhouse in the lead with about 250 metres remaining. It is the men's open K2 1000. The gap has narrowed somewhat. Carberry and Humphries working hard over the latter stages of this race, trying to pull back Collins and Woodhouse with just 200 to go. Carberry and Humphries trying to accelerate, trying to reduce that gap. But they may have left their run a little bit too late. They're finishing strongly. Jackson Collins and Alex Woodhouse hanging on. Carberry and Humphries chasing hard, bridging that gap within a boat length. But it will be Woodhouse and Collins. They will coast across the line to win the Men's Open K2 1000, the direct final. Aidan Carberry and Max Humphreys in second place. So we are away in the men's 18 and under K1 1000, the B final. Jesse Russell getting away early, as did Finlay Caruana, Mate Eels and Holbron as well. The way they line up in lane 1 from Fairfield, Bradley Bussink. Finlay Caruana from WA in 2. In 3 from Mercantile, Jesse Russell. In 4 from Queensland, Tom Messenger. Lockie Bean from Ascot in lane 5. Mate Eels from Manly Warringah in 6. Riley Hilbron from Wynnum Redlands in 7. In 8 from Manly Warringah, Jacob Mako and Connor Jacob from Canning River in lane 9. And it looks like Mate Eels may have got the best of the start. They're in lane 6 from Manly Warringah. Nice early pace. Mako as well, giving himself every chance to get away with the leaders. Bussink there, Caruana, Russell, Messenger as well, Lockie Bean. Looks like he might just be dropping off the pace. Mate Eels, Hilbrom as well. So as they cross the halfway point of this race, and it is Mate Eels, Tom Messenger in second place. Jesse Russell, it might be in third. Connor Jacob and Jacob Mako. Mako paddling well, Hilbron as well. But it looks like it is Mate Eels in the lead as we approach the second half of this race. So it's Eels in the lead. Jacob Mako pressing hard. Tom Messenger as well, right in amongst it. But Eels with the early lead in this men's 18 and under K1 1000, just over 200 to go. Bradley Bussink in lane 1, digging deep. Caruana as well, fighting hard along with Jesse Russell. Tom Messenger giving himself a chance, but Mate Eels setting the pace with 200 to go. So it looks like Eels and Messenger, they'll be fighting it out. Jacob Mako finishing strongly. Holbrun and Connor Jacob trying to hang in there as well. Bradley Bussy across in lane 1, racing with Caruana. Big chase now coming from Messenger. Can Eels hang on? He's led from start to finish. Tom Messenger chasing hard from lane 4. The battle on for the Miners. Mate Eels looking very strong in lane 6. That green-nosed boat finishing strongly. Here comes Lockie Bean. Great surge from the West Australian. So Eels will take it out. Messenger will finish in second, and a great backhand there from Lockie Bean. He'll take third. Not a lot separating Jacob Mako, Busink or Caruana, with Riley Hilbram and also Jesse Russell. But a great race. Mate Eels taking that one out just ahead of Messenger and a fast finishing Lockie Bean. And the men's 18 and under K1 A final about to get underway. So we are away in the men's 18 and under K1 1000. Walter Nichols from Sunshine Coast getting away early, as did Flynn Whelan. Will Riddington as well there. Cornwall and Deekman in lane 1 from Geelong. Thomas Russell in 2 from West Lakes. Aidan Hall in 3 from City Northern Beaches. Will Riddington. Flynn Whelan from Holdfast Bay in lane 4. Charlie Cornwall from Mercantile in 5. Byron Deekman from the Sunshine Coast. He is in lane 6 in 7. From Avoca, Jerome Drobot. Archer Thornthwaite from Manly Warringah in 8. And in lane 9 from the Sunshine Coast, Walter Nichols. And it looks like Will Riddington off to a great start. Walter Nichols as well. But it might be Riddington just ahead of Whelan at this early stage. Some good racing by these young competitors. An Australian title on the line, the men's 18 and under K1 1000. So Deekman and Cornwall, Nichols as well in lane 9. Getting off to a tremendous start as they approach the halfway point of this race. Aidan Hall right up amongst it as well. So as they do cross that line, looks like Deekman just ahead of Cornwall. Whelan there as well, but it is Byron Deekman leading the way. Charlie Cornwall trying to hang on. Flynn Whelan there as well. Riddington, Walter Nichols across in lane 9, fighting hard, as is Aidan Hall. So Drobot now starting to make his move. Deekman trying to hang on. Cornwall there as well. Flynn Whelan from Holdfast Bay, battling hard. Hall starting to lift. Riddington trying to hang on. So it looks like it's going to be between Deepman and Cornwall in the sprint to the finish. Aidan Hall starting to make his move across in lane 2. Whelan not going anywhere either, nor does Riddington. So Deepman, he'll cross first with 200 to go. The sprint now taking on Cornwall. Whelan as well. Aidan Hall trying to stick with the leaders. Aidan Hall powering home in lane 2. Can Deepman hang on? Cornwall fighting all the way. Whelan there as well, and Hall. It'll be between these 4. Byron Deepman from the Sunshine Coast in lane 6. Aidan Hall finishing strongly from West Lakes. Flynn Whelan, can he hang on to 3rd? Fast finishing Charlie Cornwall. So Deepman's going to take it. Whelan may have picked up 2nd, just ahead of Aidan Hall, and then Charlie Cornwall in 4th. Provisional that is, but it looked like Deepman took it out hard from the start and was able to hang on. Whelan finishing strongly. Aidan Hall powering home over the last 500. But it looked like Byron Deepman from the Sunshine Coast taking out the A final of the men's 18 and under K1 1000. So away now in the women's 18 and under K2 1000, the direct final. In lane 1, the West Lakes composite of Lily Burgess and Jasmine Stutt. In 2, another West Lakes composite, Bianca Raywood and Asta Micken. In 3, from Mackay, Harper Lovett and Eden Sakura. In 4, the Evoca composite of Emily Dooney and Emily Rose. The West Lakes composite, Zoe Moore and Alicia Burrows in 5. Tess Lever and Albie McInnes from Manly Warringah in 6. From Bayswater, Taya Cassidy and Adelaide Hilton, they're in lane 7. And in lane 8, Lily Todd and Olivia Ma. A nice even start in this direct final of the women's 18 and under K2 1000. Cassidy and Hilton getting away well, as did Dooney and Rose. Zoe Moore and Burrows also one to watch. Harper Lovett and Eden Sakura have been in good form. Raywood and Micken as well. And across in lane 1, Burgess and Stutt. And Cassidy and Hilton getting off to a fly. May have just slightly dropped off the pace slightly in this final of the under 18 K2. So as they approach the halfway point, looks like the crew of Bianca Raywood and Asta Micken just ahead of Cassidy and Hilton. Not much separating these crews. Raywood and Micken have had some good individual results. They are in lane 2, the West Lakes Composite. Then across in lane 7, Cassidy and Hilton from Bayswater. Lever and McInnes still there. Moore and Burrows as well. Dooney and Rose not out of it. Looks like Lever and McInnes now starting to make their move. Pushing hard against Raywood and Micken from West Lakes. Great race on our hands here in the final of the women's 18 and under K2 1000. Cassidy and Hilton from Bayswater still right amongst it. Lever and McInnes as well. Bianca Raywood and Asta Micken have had some fantastic individual results. Can they team up for more gold here? The women's 18 and under K2 1000, just 200 to go. Looks like Raywood and Micken, they've got about a boat length over Lever and McInnes. Final stages of this race. Can Cassidy and Hilton, can they pull them back? Will Raywood and McKinnon, will they hang on? They start to come, the final moments of this race. Lever and McInnes working hard. Bianca Raywood and Micken, can they hang on? They've led from start to finish in this women's 18 and under K2 1000 race. The chase still coming from Lever and McInnes. Moore and Burrows trying to get amongst the medals, as are Burgess and Stute. So it's going to be Raywood and Micken. They'll take it out first. The minor placings will go to Lever and McInnes in second place. And Zoe Moore and Alicia Burrows picking up the bronze just ahead of Cassidy to Hilton, and also Burgess and Stute, who finished really strongly over that back 500. Dooney and Rose just ahead of Lovett and Sikora. And then Lily Todd and Olivia Marr bringing home the field. But a great race, well won by Bianca Raywood and Asta Micken from the West Lakes Composite crew. So Raywood and Micken in first place. Lever and McInnes in second. Moore and Burrows picking up the bronze. So underway in the men's 16 and under K1 1000, the B final. The action keeps on coming here at the Sydney Regatta Centre as part of the Paddle Australia 2025 Canoe Sprint Championships. The men's 16 and under K1 1000, the B final. Ethan Yang from Fairfield in lane 1. Bo Jacob from Canning River in 2. Hayden Lano from Wynnum Redlands in 3. Brody Frew from Avoca in 4. Noah Kellen from Bayswater in 5. Finlay McLennan from the Sydney Northern Beaches in 6. In 7 from Mackay, Finn Island. In 8 from Manly Warringah, Zach Moffat. And in lane 9 from Sydney Northern Beaches, it is Lockie Matthews. And Brody Frew looks like he's got himself out to a good start, as has Finlay McLennan. Finn Island chasing hard as well. Moffat and Matthews trying to stay with the leaders in the early stages of this men's 16 and under K1 1000 race. Ethan Yang from Fairfield paddling strongly. Bo Jacob as well. Looks like Hayden Lano may be starting to put a little bit of distance on Brody Frew, trying to stay with him as well. So it looks like Hayden Lano, one of the early pace setters, Brody Frew staying with him. Finlay McLennan also up amongst the lead pack. So as they make their way down towards the halfway point of this race, and nothing separating Frew and Lano as they make their way. McLennan in third place, Kelland in fourth at the moment. The chase coming from Finn Island. But looks like it's going to be between Frew and Lano. Still plenty of racing left to do, but those two certainly in the lead at the moment. As the pain starts to settle in on these young men in the 16 and under K1 1000, the B final. Hayden Lano right up there with Brody Frew. McLennan trying to stay in the mix. Finn Island is there as well. So it looks like it might be McLennan, Lano, True. They're the pace setters. Frew may just have his nose in front. Island chasing hard. McLennan as well. Noah Kelland trying to stay with the leaders. So as we hit with 200 metres to go, not a whole lot separating them. Frew just in the lead ahead of Lano. Island and McLennan chasing hard. Kelland there as well. So here we go, closing stages of this B final, the men's 16 and under K1 1000. Hayden Lano from Wynnum Redlands trying to hang on. Brody Frew with his nose just in front. The chasers are coming. Noah Kelland has fought himself right back into this race. Finlay McLennan's there as well. Lano in the lead, being chased by Jacob. Kelland working hard. McLennan wants the medal. Try to paddling over the top. Can Kelland hang on? So Frew's going to take it. Lano will pick up second. Noah Kelland fought his way back into third. McLennan fourth. Finn Island there crossing the line from Mackay. So some quadly paddling by these young men. As Lockie Matthews and Zach Moffat crossing the line, as did Bo Jacob and Ethan Yang. That was the men's 16 and under K1 1000 B final. So we are away, the men's 16 and under K1 1000, the A final. Some real quality paddlers in this field. In lane 1 from Currumbin Creek, Dane Rayward. From 2, Currumbin Creek, Asa Poland. In 3 from Swan, Alistair Marston. In 4 from Fairfield, Axel Tan. Riley Scott from Currumbin Creek in lane 5. Orlando Fonseca from Bayswater in 6. Alexander Small from Swan, he's in lane 7. In lane 8 from the Sunshine Coast, Taj Purcell. And in lane 9 from Fairfield, Cooper Alt. So it's a quality field. The majority of these paddlers have picked up medals over this championship so far. Axel Tan off to a terrific start, as was Marsden. Riley Scott, as you would expect. Up amongst the leaders, Orlando Fonseca from Bayswater. He's been so strong over this championships. So it is the men's 16 and under K1 1000 final. Scott, Fonseca and Tan, probably the early favourites in this race. Not a whole lot separating them at this early stage. Fonseca definitely up amongst the leaders, as is Scott. Tan right there as well. I'll try and break this field open. So it looks like Orlando, Scott and Tan. Fonseca's there. So Riley Scott just in the lead. Orlando Fonseca and Axel Tan neck and neck in second place. Alistair Marsden probably in fourth at the moment. Alexander Small there in fifth. Then it's through to Purcell, Alt, Raywood and Poland. But Riley Scott in the lead at the 500. Axel Tan and Orlando Fonseca trying to stay with him. So Fonseca and Scott, they've teamed up in a K2. Now they go head to head in the men's 16 and under K1 1000. Axel Tan trying to stay with them. Marsden as well, trying to hang on. Alexander Small not giving up, trying to stick with the leaders. So it's Scott and Fonseca. Tan there as well. Marsden not far off the 200. So it looks like Tan might have paddled himself in to the lead. Axel Tan from Fairfield. He's got himself half a boat length in front. He's had a great 250 in that middle section of this race. Big chase now coming from Raywood in lane one. Axel Tan hanging on the lead, starting to pull away. Alistair Marsden now chasing hard. Scott and Fonseca trying to hang on. Big finish coming from Small as well. The pain starting to hurt. Axel Tan from Fairfield. Can he hang on? His back half has been sensational. A chase now coming from Marsden. Can he paddle down Scott? Fonseca trying to hang on. Tan with 20 to go. Fonseca and Scott, can they hang on? So Tan's going to take it out. Scott will pick up second. Fonseca finishing strongly, as did Marsden, but just out of the medals. But a jubilant Axel Tan, as Alexander Small just crossing the line. Raywood as well. Asa Poland, Taj Purcell from the Sunshine Coast, and Cooper Old, who's had a fantastic championships. But it was Axel Tan's race. Paced it extremely well. Stayed with the leaders, stayed with Scott and Fonseca. And when the time came, he just put the hammer down, got himself into the lead, and was able to hang on that middle section of his race. I'm sure his coach, Wen Tan, will be very happy with the way he executed that for a young man in the men's 16 and under K1 1000. Axel Tan taking out that A final. So we are away now in the men's K2 1000 metre 14 and under. And the Mackay Composite of Hugo Marsden and Caden Lee getting off to a terrific start. We'll see if they can hang on to it. In lane 2 is the Fairfield team of Tyson Bussink and Hugo Deng. The Mackay Composite in lane 3, Hugo Marsden and Caden Lee. Cameron Briggs and Hugo Dooney from Manly Warringah in 4. Badad Samandarian and Ben Applewhite from the Sydney Northern Beaches, they're in 5. Joel Moritz and Koa Brody from Currumbin Creek in 6. Alexander Lyons and Jason Ness from West Lakes Composite in 7. And Caden Scott and Killian Quigley from Currumbin Creek are in lane 8. But it seems to be that Mackay Composite team of Marsden and Lee have burst out of the blocks, putting a couple of boat lengths on their nearest competitors, Moritz and Brody from Currumbin Creek, trying to stay with the leaders. But Hugo Marsden and Caden Lee off to an absolute flyer in this men's K2 1,000 metre 14 and under final. They've got 3 or 4 boat lengths over second place at the moment, so this race theirs to lose. Still a long way to go, but off to a tremendous start, absolutely dominating this field. These 2 young paddlers had a big program, but looking very, very comfortable. So as they pass through the 500, Marsden and Lee, the Mackay Composite comfortably in the lead at this stage. The Currumbin Creek team of Joel Moritz and Koa Brody in second. Alexander Lyons and Jason Ness from West Lakes, they're in third. Badad Samandarian and Ben Applewhite unfortunately have tipped their kayak, so they're being taken care of by the great support crews that are here. But as we approach the 200, it's going to be a convincing lead at this stage to Marsden and Lee, the Mackay Composite team. About 3 or 4 at a minimum boat lengths in front of second place, which is Moritz and Brody from Currumbin Creek. Just outside them though, Lyons and Ness starting to make their move as we see Marsden and Lee at the 200 out to about 10 boat lengths or more over second place. That lead just keeps on building. That's been a dominant performance by those 2 young paddlers, Moritz and Brody, with 200 to go. Briggs and Dooney finishing strongly. Lyons and Ness as well. So this battle for the minor medals, as we've seen so often throughout this championship, is where the interest will be. So Hugo Marsden and Caden Lee, the Mackay Composite, they'll take out the men's K2 1,000 metre for the 14 and unders. Joel Moritz and Koa Brody, they'll hang on to second if they keep this pace up. But the battle for third is between Cameron Briggs and Hugo Dooney and Alexander Lyons and Jason Ness. It's going to be tight. It looks like Briggs and Dooney may just have got their nose in front. Moritz and Brody will take out the silver medal from Currumbin Creek. And Briggs and Dooney have finished strongly. Big chase coming from Lyons and Ness, but it just won't be enough. So Briggs and Dooney will take the bronze medal in this men's K2 1,000 metre 14 and under event. And a nice strong finish by Caden Scott and Killian Quigley from Currumbin Creek. And also Tyson Bussink and Hugo Deng, tight between those 2. The Currumbin Creek crew, they'll just pip Fairfield, with some great racing again by these young under 14 paddlers. So we are away in a composite race, 3 in 1. We have the men's over 45s, the over 55s and the over 65s all in the same race. Mako getting away very quickly from the Manly Warringah Club in the over 55s, but in lane 2, 3 and 4 is the over 45. So Craig Elliott from Burley Griffin in 2, Matthew Ingerman from Wynnum Redlands in 3, and David Lano from Wynnum Redlands in 4. In 5, 6, 7 and 8 is the over 55s. So Tim Newton is in lane 5. He's from Manly Warringah. William Mako from Manly Warringah in 6. Dave Bicknell from Wynnum Redlands in 7. And Ian Jennings from Victoria is in 8. And then in lane 9 is the men's over 65. And that is Peter Grimes from Manly Warringah. He is in lane 9. So 2, 3 and 4 is the over 45s. 5, 6, 7, 8 is the over 55s. And lane 9, Peter Grimes, the over 65s. So 3 races within 1 race. And not much separating these competitors. Elliott, Ingerman and Leno in the over 45s, all pretty tight as they make their way down towards the 500 metre mark. The over 55 staying with the younger ones as well. So it looks like Elliott just in the lead, Ingerman second, Leno third. That's how they line up in the over 45s. In the over 55s, Mako just in the lead ahead of Newton with Bicknell and Jennings, and then Peter Grimes racing there as well. So it looks like Lano, Ingerman and Elliott, a real battle on their hands. Jennings and Mako battling it out in the over 55s. Elliott looks like he might be half a boat length in the lead in the over 45s. Elliott from Burley Griffin about to hit the 200 metre mark. Mako definitely in the lead in the over 55s. Peter Grimes having a sterling race. So as they do cross the line, it looks like Elliott just in the lead over Matthew Ingerman for the over 45s. Mako in the lead in the over 55s. Just ahead of Newton and then Bicknell. But in the battle for the over 45s, strong finish coming here by Ingerman. Elliott was in the lead for most of the race, but now Matthew Ingerman just pinning the ears back. He's finding something extra. So Matthew Ingerman from Wynnum Redlands starting to pull away now. He'll take first place ahead of Craig Elliott from Burley Griffin. David Lano will take third place in the over 45s. In the over 55s, it'll be Willem Mako who will take first place. Tim Newton, he'll pick up the silver. Ian Jennings, the bronze, and David Bicknell in fourth place. That's the over 55s. And then Peter Grimes looking solid, looking comfortable from lane 9 in the over 65 K1 1000. So Ingerman taking out the over 45s, Mako the over 55s, and Peter Grimes the over 65 in the men's K1 1000 race. So once again, it is a race within a race that is currently underway. We have the women's over 65 K2 1000 and the over 55 K2 1000. In lane 5 is the over 65s. That's Teresa Harvey and Janine Di Tommaso. And in lane 6, the over 55s of Lulu Harris and Turia Mako from the Manly Warringah Club. Both crews from Manly Warringah. In 6 is the over 55s. In 5 is the over 65s. And Harris and Mako, a real family affair for the Makos. Turia Mako and Lulu Harris leading this race within a race. They will be racing the clock. Harvey and Di Tommaso just using Harris and Mako as a bit of a pace setter to try and stay with them. Harris and Mako just doing what they can to race the clock. So the two Manly Warringah teams, Harvey and Di Tommaso, the over 65s in lane 5, and Harris and Mako, the over 55s in lane 6. And just a reminder, if those young competitors can refrain from jumping off the pontoon, so if those young fellas can not be jumping off the pontoon, that'd be fantastic. That's you. If someone could just grab those two young fellas on the pontoon and ask them to please stop jumping off it, that'd be fantastic. They may have a bit of water in their ears. Certainly not much between them. So the final stage of this race within a race, as Lulu Harris and Turia Mako, the women's over 55 K2 1000, being pressed all the way by Harvey and Di Tommaso, their Manly Warringah teammates, the over 65, the over 55, 65s I should say. They look a lot younger than that by the way they're paddling. But it will be Harris and Mako. They'll take line honours in the women's over 55 K2 1000 from Manly Warringah. And hot on their heels, Teresa Harvey and Janine Di Tommaso, the women's over 65 K2 1000. Great racing by both of those pairs. Warm conditions, both looking very strong. as they complete the 1,000 metre course. So it's Harris and Mako taking line honours, and Harvey and Di Tommaso having a sterling paddle there for the women's over 65 K2 1000. If anyone owns those kids that are jumping off the pontoon, if you could please just ask them to stop doing that. That is the instruction that's come in from the event organisers. If those young fellas, if someone can grab them and please ask them to stop jumping off the pontoon. So can all athletes that are involved in the medal presentations for this component, if you could please make your way down to the medal presentation area. That is all the athletes that are up for medals in this section. That'd be fantastic. Please make your way down to the medal presentation area. So can medal winners from the 14s, 16s, 18s and Masters events please make your way down to the medal presentation area. That's competitors, the medal winners from the 14s, 16s, 18s and Masters events. If you could please make your way down to the medal presentation area. The presentations are about to get underway. We'd love you to be there to receive your medal. So if you are a medal winner for the 14s, 16s, 18s or Masters events, please can you make your way down to the medal arena. So ladies and gentlemen, the awards ceremony for the 2025 Paddle Australia Canoe Sprint Championships. The award for the men's 18 and under K1 1000 in third place from West Lakes Paddle Sports, Aidan Hall. And the awards being presented by para-canoe athlete Mark Daniels. In second place, the silver medal from Holdfast Bay Paddle Sports Club, Flynn Whelan. And the gold medal for the men's 18 and under K1 1000 from the Sunshine Coast, Byron Diekman. So the next presentations are for the men's K2 1000 metre 14 and under. And once again, medals to be presented by West Australian para-canoe athlete Mark Daniels. So, ladies and gentlemen, the awards for the 2025 Paddle Australia Canoe Sprint Championships, the men's K2 1000 metre 14 and under race. The bronze medal in third place from Manly Warringah, Cameron Briggs and Hugo Dooney. In second place, the silver medal from Currumbin Creek, Joel Moritz and Koa Brody. And the gold medal for winners of the men's K2 1000 metres 14 and under from the Mackay Paddlers Club and the Swan Canoe Club, Hugo Marsden and Caden Lee. So the next presentation will be for the women's 16 and under K1 1000. Next event is the women's 16 and under K1 1000 medal presentation ceremony. So, ladies and gentlemen, the awards ceremony for the 2025 Paddle Australia Canoe Sprint Championships, the women's 16 and under K1 1000. In third place, okay, Ashley Pegram. The silver from Manly Warringah, Hayley Dunbar. And the gold medal for the women's 16 and under K1 1000 from the Avoca Kayak Club, Bronte Pax. So those medals presented by triple Olympian Elise Wood. So congratulations to the winners of the women's 16 and under K1 1000 race. So, ladies and gentlemen, the awards ceremony for the Paddle Australia Canoe Sprint Championships, the women's 18 and under K1 1000. The bronze medal in third place, Zoe Moore. The silver medal to Emily Rose. And the gold medal for the women's 18 and under K1 1000, Bianca Raywood. And again, thanks to Elise Wood for presenting those medals to the winners. So the next medal presentation will be for the women's 18 and under K2 1000. So, ladies and gentlemen, the awards ceremony for the 2025 Paddle Australia Canoe Sprint Championships is the women's 18 and under K2 1000. The bronze medal from West Lakes Paddle Sports and Bayswater Paddle Sports, Zoe Moore and Alicia Burrows. The silver medal from Manly Warringah Kayak Club, Tess Lever and Albie McInnes. And the gold medal from West Lakes Paddle Sports and Currumbin Creek, Bianca Raywood and Asa Micken. So congratulations to the winners of the women's 18 and under K2 1000. So the next award is for the women's 14 and under K2 1000. And once again, the medals to be presented by Triple Olympian Elise Wood. So in third place for the women's 14 and under K2 1000 from the Goldfields Paddlers, West Lakes Paddle Sports, Audrey Mackay and Daphne Bradley. The silver medal from the Fairfield Canoe Club, Catherine Shen and Evla Basak. And the gold medal for the women's 14 and under K2 1000 from the Fairfield Canoe Club and Mackay Paddlers, Isabel Island and Serena Lee. Is that 18 and under, or I've got 16, men's 16 and under for me for 245?
Where they go?
So it's men's 16 and under, is that correct, for 245? So the next award is for the men's 16 and under K1 1000. In third place from Bayswater, Orlando Fonseca, coached by Andrew Crothers. The silver medal from Currumbin Creek, Riley Scott, coached by Dave Smith. And the gold medal in the men's 16 and under K1 1000 from Fairfield Canoe Club, Axel Tan, coached by Wen Tan. So congratulations to the winners of the men's 16 and under K1 1000. So the next medal presentation is for the men's K2 1012 and under. And the silver medal for the men's K2 1012 and under from Cobram, Baruga and Currumbin Creek, Nixon Wallace and Jack Corrin. And the gold medal from the Avoca Kayak Club, Leo Manser and Kai Sinclair. And those medals being presented by West Australian paracanoe athlete Mark Daniels. So congratulations. So the next medal presentation at the 2025 Paddle Australia Canoe Sprint Championships is for the women's over 45 K1 1000. And the winner from the Burley Griffin Canoe Club, Laura Lee. Coached by Margie Baum, and again thank you to Elise Wood, the Triple Olympian, for presenting the medal to Laura. The next award presentation is for the women's over 55 K1 1000. So for the women's over 55 K1 1000, the silver medal from the Manly Warringah Kayak Club, Lulu Harris. Medals being presented by Triple Olympian Elise Wood. And the gold medal, also from Manly Warringah, Turia Mako. And the next award is the women's over 65 K1 1000. And the gold medal going to Janine Di Tommaso from Manly Warringah Kayak Club. The next award is for the women's over 65 K2 1000. And a familiar name about to step up onto the podium. So the gold medal for the women's over 65 K2 1000 from the Manly Warringah Kayak Club, Teresa Harvey and Janine Di Tommaso. So congratulations to the women's over 65 K2 1000 winners. The next presentation is for the women's over 55 K2 1000. And the winners, the gold medal of the women's over 55 K2 1000 from the Mandy Warringah Kayak Club, Lulu Harris and Turia Marco. So the next award is for the men's over 45 K2 1000. So the gold medal for the men's over 45 K2 1000 from Wynnum Redlands Canoe Club, Matthew Ingerman and David Bicknell. The medal being presented by West Australian paracanoeist Mark Daniels. And the next award is for the men's over 55 K2 1000. And the gold medal for the men's over 55 K2 1000 from the Mandy Warringah Kayak Club, Tim Newton and William Mako. So the next award is the men's over 45 K1 1000. And again, the awards to be presented by paracanoeist Mark Daniels. And the bronze medal for the men's over 45 K1 1000 from Wynnum Redlands Canoe Club, David Lano. The silver medal from Burley Griffin, Craig Elliott. And the gold medal in the men's over 45 K1 1000 from Wynnum Redlands, Matthew Ingerman. The next medal presentation is for the men's over 55 K1 1000. And the bronze medal for the men's over 55 K1 1000, Ian Jennings. The silver medal from Mandy Warringah Kayak Club, Tim Newton. And the gold medal for the men's over 55 K1 1000 from the Mandy Warringah Kayak Club, Willem Mako. Which takes us to the awards ceremony for the men's over 65 K1 1000. And the winner of the men's over 65 K1 1000 from the Mandy Warringah Kayak Club, Peter Grimes. And again, thank you to Mark Daniels, the West Australian paracanoeist, for assistance with presenting with the medal ceremony. And again, a big thanks to West Australian paracanoeist Mark Daniels and Triple Olympian Elise Wood for their assistance with the medal presentations.